Hi everyone, in this video we are going to discuss how to find first non-repeated character in a given string. Let's read the complete problem statement. Consider a given string containing white spaces, alphabets, both lower and uppercase characters and 0 to 9 numbers. And we need to write a code which finds the first non-repeated character from this string. And if there is no such character, the same should be displayed as a message on the console. Example, we are given a string text tag 9. You can see here we need to find out the first non-repeated character. Here is E, as T is repeated here in the stack. So E becomes the first non-repeated character. And if we are given a string which has all the characters repeated, then in that case we'll just need to write on the console that there is no character which is non-repeated. So this is what we need to display on the console. So this is the problem statement, and one can think of a solution as like picking up each character from the string and comparing it with the other characters in the string. And if there is a match, we'll just skip it and then pick up the next character in the string and continue the comparisons till there is no mismatch, there is no match. And if we are at the end of the string and if there is no match for this for that character in the string, then we can conclude that that is the first non-repeated character, right? So this is a nice solution, and it actually needs nested loop, and it also takes the time complexity of big O of n square, right? So one needs to think of an optimal solution. So interviewer might ask to complete or solve the problem in big O of n time complexity, like by reading the string in one pass. So you can pause the video here and think of the optimal solution for a minute or two, and then you can resume back and watch the solution here. So the approach here is we are going to declare an integer array which can hold all the extended ASCII codes. An ASCII code is an integer value for any character in Java, and the characters include lowercase alphabets, uppercase, numbers, special characters, etc. And all these characters fall in the range between 0 and 255. So there are 256 such extended ASCII codes. So why you're going to have this integer array is, so a string can have any character, right? So that's why. And then what we are going to do here is we are going to read the given string character by character and increment the value of the array whose index is equal to the ASCII code of the character. And finally, we'll find the index of the array whose value is 1 by reading each character from the string. So let's see this in terms of code now. You can see here we have a method find non-repeat char which takes string as a parameter, and from this string we need to find the first non-repeated character. So first thing we'll do is we'll declare an integer array. So I'll have an integer array here with size of extended ASCII codes, right? So we can just hard code here 256, or what we can do is we can declare a constant here that is a final variable which is static integer, and then we'll just call this variable as extended ASCII code and have this value as 256. We can just use this final variable here instead of hard coding it, so that it will be clear, right? And then we wanted to read character by character from the string, right? So let's do that. And then what we wanted to do, we wanted to increment the array index. So we'll read the character first. So you can see here, this actually returns the character at the specified index, right? So, but we are using it in the index of the array, which is an integer. So Java implicitly converts character into the equivalent ASCII code, which is an integer. So then we'll increment this value. So what happens here is each time when we read the character, it is converted into its equivalent ASCII code, which is an integer, and that respective index will be the value at that respective index will be incremented. So this is what happens here. And let's actually debug till here, and let's look into the contents of this array. So this method returns the integer, right? So for now, what we can do here is we'll just return something like some integer, return maybe 0. and we wanted to call this method, right? So let's have main method and call this method. Let's pass some string as TechStack9 is my string. All right, let's debug this and let's look at the contents of this array. And we can see here at starting the result array will be all the elements in the array, integer array will be initialized to zeros. We can see it here clearly. Now we are here, so let's actually read character by character and check the contents. So the first time we can see here the contents of the array. So let's look at the contents of the array here. So the ASCII code of lowercase t is I think 116, and you can see here it is the value of it is incremented by 1. So the value is 1 here. So in the same way, when we actually step over again reading the second character e, so then the index should for the character e should also be incremented. You can see here the ASCII code for e is 101 and the index 101, so is the value of index at 101 is incremented by 1. So you can see it clearly here, and so on. Like let's read all the characters and check the contents after reading all the characters. So we are done. Now we can check the array here. So array contents, you can see here there is one here, maybe that is coming from the number 9, and then we can check the values here. See, it is 2 here, maybe it is of C, it is I don't know exact, this is maybe a lowercase a, this is C, and so on, right? So each character, so whenever it is encountered, it is converted into the its equivalent ASCII code, and the index of that array is incremented by 1, right? So now what we wanted to find out here is, let's look at this array and find out which index has the number 1, and we should not go through in this order of the array. We should go through in the order of the characters in the given string. So that's the main thing here. So let's stop debugging here and let's read the array here till all the characters we wanted to read here, read the whole array here. And what we wanted to find, we wanted to find result of caret index if it is equal to 1. The first one, which is equal to 1. If it is found, we wanted to return the index of it, index of that character in the string. And if we come at the end of the string, and if none of the resultant array has the value 1, then it means that all the characters in the string are repeated, or the character is empty, or the string is empty. So in that case, so to indicate that, let's return some negative value here, as we can't return 0, as all the by default all the elements in the array are 0, is 0, right? So I'm just to differentiate it, I'm just returning -1 here. If there is a non-repeated character, then we'll get the index of it. So let's have this here, integer index equal to this one, and we'll have this declared into some variable here in string object, and then we'll pass this string here. And finally, what we wanted to do, we wanted to output this on the console, right? So what we'll do here is, if we'll check this, I'll use the ternary operator here. If index is equal to -1, then all characters in the string are repeated, or it can even be empty, right? Repeated or empty string. What if index is not equal to -1? We just wanted to print that character, which is the first non-repeated character in the string. This becomes the index, right? So Let us execute this program now. And we can clearly see the output as E here, as E is the first non-repeated character in this string. So we'll also see by providing all the characters which are repeated. And this has to say, yes, all characters in the string are repeated. And we can even check this for the empty string as well. So it says all characters in the string are repeated or the given string is empty. So this is how we can solve the first non-repeated character in the given string, and this is the optimal solution. So that's all for this video. Thanks for watching.